today's Monday Mindset, something a little bit different and fun. Meet the expert coaches, put a face to a name, get to know us, what we're good at, what we like, why we're here. And then hopefully that will inspire you and help you as you're getting coached and as you're reaching out to the coaches. So I'm going to do something quick and fun though, going around just to get the ball rolling, break the ice. I'm going to ask each coach their name and what they had for dinner tonight. And I'm going to start with you, Maddie.
Absolutely. So I'm Maddie Kuhn. And currently my husband is whipping up some whole wheat spaghetti and a very impromptu spaghetti sauce because the rice and beans that I thought I had batch cooked properly this weekend went bad quicker than we expected. So I'd whip together something rather quick and I'll be able to enjoy it after this Monday Mindset. So looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, kudos to your husband for making dinner. I'm going to try setting the view on this to speaker view. Tell me if it changes all of your views as well or just mine, because one of the members mentioned that she can't see the new coaches. It was Dia. Hi, Dia, because she's on a phone. And I know that affects a lot of people when there's more than a few guests on, you can't actually see them all. So I'll try setting it to speaker view and tell me if you can just see, let's see. Can you see me now or Maddie? Just maybe type it in the chat and I'll see how that goes. All right. So Doris is asking about the dates of the live events I just read out. And absolutely, you get about 3 email reminders for each event plus a monthly calendar. All right. Everyone's saying they can still see everyone. Well, doesn't matter then. If anyone is on a phone, you will hopefully be able to see at least the speaker when they're speaking. But otherwise, just hop on your just hop on your laptop or your desktop if you have one. All right, Irene, let's do you next. So your name and what are you having for dinner tonight, or what have you had for dinner?
Yes, my husband's also made dinner today, which is a rare occasion, so that's pretty nice, but I haven't eaten yet. He made quarter legs. He had marinated them since yesterday, and his new hobby has been a smoker during quarantine. That's what he invested in. So he smoked some quarter leg chicken legs. And so then I'm going to have to go downstairs and make some sides because he does not make sides. Baby steps. So he does make the meats now, but he needs help with the sides. So probably go roast some cauliflower, maybe make a side salad, and that's what's for dinner.
That's amazing. And it's exactly the same as my husband. He's recently got into cooking, but it's always very meat heavy with, you know, potatoes or rice or pasta or something, normally cooked in a lot of oil as well. So I'm trying to train him up for more healthy cooking. Awesome. And Katie, how about you?
Hi, everyone. I actually put one of the teenagers in charge of dinner this evening. So I will be having some chicken quesadillas.
Impressive. That's awesome. And I know you love your quesadillas. So that's great. Awesome. And Chef Jen.
Hi all. I'm going to be having something called farinata tonight. It's not quite dinner time here. And I do this a lot when I just need dinner fast. It's kind of a twist between pancake and flatbread, and it's made out of chickpea flour. And you cook it really quick in a cast iron skillet, and then you can top it with veggies. I'm going to do grilled mushrooms with it tonight.
That sounds amazing. Obviously, Chef Jen is pulling out the punches with the fancy dinner. Yeah, thank you. And let's bring on Stephanie. And for you ladies who can't see us all on your phones, tell me if you can now see Stephanie once she starts talking. Hopefully it will just pop up. So welcome, Stephanie. What did you have for dinner tonight?
Hi all. I have had dinner because it's a little bit later here. So I had gotten some chicken breasts. I pounded them a little bit, put some seasoning on them, and stuck them in my air fryer, and they were awesome. They were awesome. I loved them. Had some leftover roasted cauliflower and sweet potatoes and made a big kale salad with tomatoes and cucumbers. For some reason, I am just into that right now, the kale and the tomatoes and the cucumbers. So it was yummy, very delicious.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Love it. Well, great intro to Stephanie. Let's see if they can see her now. So everyone's sharing tips on if you slide to the right, you can see the other panelists on. So you can actually switch screens by sliding across to see the other coaches when you want to, okay? I think that seems to be working for everybody. So keep typing tips in the chat to help your fellow members navigate the tech. But it sounds like if you're on a phone, if you slide right, then you'll be able to bring up the screen with the other coaches. They are there, they're just hiding. And last but not least is Merrill. Welcome.
Hello.
And what did you have for dinner tonight?
We have not had dinner yet. After this, hopefully my husband will help wrangle the children while I put together some fish tacos. It's been bright and beautiful and sunshiny here this week, so we wanted something fresh. I'm going to make a cilantro lime slaw and some nice fish tacos.
Yeah, that sounds so good. I wish we could have a potluck with all the ladies, with all the members. That would be so fun. I dream of a US tour one day, a homemade method tour around the US I want to bring my husband and kids and just tour around the US in a van or something. It'd be so fun. We can stop at different cities and do potlucks and shows. So he's not totally on board yet, but we'll work on him. So, all right. Well, with that said, I'm going to go, I'll probably stick to the same order for now for the session. And I'm going to introduce the coaches and their expertise so you can get to know their backgrounds, how long they've been with Homemade. So, and other coaches, while you're waiting, you're welcome to participate in the chat and type comment. People are typing in questions to you. You can jump in and type them in. So just participate however you like. And we'll start with Maddie. Tell us a little bit about, someone asked a great question just then. It was Marilyn, where are the coaches from? So maybe when you introduce yourself and your expertise, you could also share where you all live.
Absolutely, I'd love to. So I am Maddie. I'm a functional nutritional therapist, and I currently live in Petaluma, California, which is just about an hour north of San Francisco. I've been with Homemade off and on since 2014, so quite a while, and I am the lead coach here. I host our Nutrition Lives for Success and Success Plus members on the last Wednesday of the month. No worries though, you don't have to memorize that date. I always email you beforehand to send you little reminders so you can join me. I received my certification back in 2018 from the Nutritional Therapy Association, and I've also taught cooking classes when I lived close to San Francisco and in Oakland to both the young and the young at heart for about 3 years.
Great. And actually, we'll go with Katie next. We'll stick to the order just to, yeah.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Graham. I've been with Homemade Method since 2018, and you may recognize me from my live office hours and Q&A every other Thursday night. I have been a registered dietitian nutritionist for about 7 years in the Nashville, Tennessee area, and I have degrees in both psychology and food and nutrition science. And I've done all types of things as far as nutrition. I've worked in clinical nutrition, food service management. I've done some consulting for long-term care facilities, and I've also seen clients one-on-one for things like weight loss, diabetes management, grocery store tours, and meal planning.
Amazing. So grateful to have you with us, Katie. And so if you are new here, you'll be getting to know Katie well. She does the live Q&As every couple of weeks. She's a wealth of information. If you want to know how to get started on your program, get the most out of it. If you're losing motivation, if you need help with meal planning, she's your go-to person. And you'll be learning more in a minute about what we can all help you with too. And Irene?
Yes, so hello ladies. I am actually in Houston, Texas, and I have been with Homemade Method since 2019, so I just had my 2nd year anniversary in February. You may see me in the members only coaching group, also in the emails, but some of you may recognize me because I host the monthly cooking and meal prep parties. I am a certified holistic health coach. I received my training from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and I received in-depth knowledge of nutrition, health and wellness, and also coaching. And I dealt with a lot of my own health struggles for many years, and I was able to find healing through nutrition and also mindful eating. And once I learned the secret to health, I honestly wanted to share it with the world, which is why after 10 years of working in my corporate job, I decided to change careers and become a health coach. And now I'm so happy to be here with you all.
Thank you, Irene, for the great introduction. Awesome. So, see, we're all older than we look. So based on you saying you did 10 years in corporate jobs. So next we have Jen, our holistic chef.
Hi everyone, I'm Jen Venata, and I live in California, but a town called Nevada City. I'm a professional holistic chef, and I'm also a cooking instructor. and I've been with Homemade since 2014. I host our live cooking classes for the Success and the Success Plus members every second Tuesday of the month. It is a blast. And I trained and received my culinary arts degree from a 2-year program at Lake Cordon Bleu in 2012. From there, I went to work in all different professional kitchens, ranging from really large prep kitchens to French fine dining. I went into becoming a professional chef and ran my own business. And then from there, that led me to teaching for the last 7 years. And I've had a lot of fun getting to teach in all different formats, from wineries to corporations, but especially for Homemade Method has been the best.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jen. And next is Stephanie.
Hello all, my name is Stephanie. I am a new Homemade Method coach and very happy to be here. I live in Virginia, way down in the southeast corner, not far from North Carolina. Been south of the Mason-Dixon line now since I was 18. I have been a dietitian for over 30 years. I had gotten my undergraduate degree at University of Maryland, my graduate degree at University of North Carolina. I've worked in long-term care in the clinical setting. I've been a consultant. The majority of my career was spent as an outpatient dietitian in a lifestyle center where we did a lot of diabetes counseling, one-on-one, did cardiac rehab, pulmonary rehab, bariatrics. I taught classes. I did grocery store tours, I did cooking classes, and I also worked with type 1 diabetes kids camps. Very happy to be here and very excited to get to know the members.
Yay, so super excited to have you here, so thrilled. And last but definitely not least, we have Merrill, who can introduce yourself now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Merrill, and I am also new to Homemade, as you know. I live in Kirkland, Washington, very on the other side of the lake from Seattle. I am a certified nutritionist. I have my undergrad degree in psychology, and I got my master's degree in nutrition from Bastyr University. And for 4 years, I worked at a studio gym where I was able to create and design my own nutrition program for individuals and group members, and with a basis of mindful eating, which is something, as you will find, that I'm very, very excited and passionate about. I'm currently continuing my education with a mindful eating certificate program. Personally, I have dealt in the past with weight gain, chronic heartburn, inflammation, all over body pain. I was on heartburn medications, had high cholesterol, and I just knew I was way too young to feel that way. That was kind of the destruction of post-college for me. And so I just knew I needed a change and wanted to do that through food and movement. So I dove into my master's degree, and just by making small, consistent changes, I lost the weight, dropped my cholesterol, reduce the inflammation that was causing heartburn and pain, and I've never had to take medication for that again, and here I am. So all of that has just made me so passionate about mindful and intuitive eating practices. I think that's the cornerstone. The mindset piece is the cornerstone to changing eating behaviors for good, and that's what's missing from most people's approach to eating these days. And so that's one thing that I'm really excited about sharing here at Homemade.
Yay, amazing. Thank you so much. Well, I'm seeing a ton of ladies. I know, very excited. And I want to highlight, we had 117 qualified applicants for the new roles. And so we selected Stephanie and Merrill out of a lot of ladies through a long, multiple stage process. There is one more coach joining us, Samantha Temple, who couldn't be here today, but we're very excited and proud to bring her on as well. So I just want to ask the question I've seen coming through a lot, which is, what's the difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist? Would one of the panel like to jump in and answer that?
I was just typing something in.
Yep.
Basically, the base training is generally pretty similar, although different schools will do specialize in different things. Something maybe more based, maybe more based in clinical. But as far as I understand, dietitians generally have to do a clinical round where they're working in a hospital setting, whereas nutritionists don't have to do that. So my schooling and everyone else's schooling here will all vary because of the different schools we went to. But the base training is always around nutrition. Does that help? And holistic chef, Jen, do you want to explain what a holistic chef is?
Basically, it's going to be looking at the whole body as one piece and looking at food as a way to support that. So you're not just going for pleasure, you're not just going for flavor, you're also thinking about that wellness aspect and health and nutrition.
Great answer. Yes, a chef that's going to help you be healthy instead of unhealthy. All right. So next we wanted to let you know what to ask each coach about. What's their passion? What's their expertise? What's their specialty? And so when you post your questions in the group, if you want a specific coach to answer it, you can tag their name in your post. And we really encourage you to put your questions in the group. Like I saw one lady saying just then, do we get other recipes than smoothies? I'm lost. So a question like that, you go to the members only group. There's a big picture at the top of me that says got questions, click here. When you click on that, it'll open up a place where there's a place to put your comments and questions. So you put them there and then a specific coach will see it and respond. And if you want a certain coach to respond, not just anyone on our team, everyone's amazing, everyone's trained, we're all consistent with what we share. But if you want a specific coach, you can tag their name like Jen at Homemade if you want cooking help, and then they will see it and respond. The one proviso I want to highlight for you ladies is most of the coaches work different shifts and rosters, and some are full-time, some are part-time. So if you tag a specific coach, you might need to wait a little longer to get a reply because they might not be working for a few days. So if you just want the quickest reply, just post the general question in the group or in the thread. But if you want a specific coach, you can tag their name. Cool. So with that said, Maddie, what should the members ask you about? What are you passionate about and specific expertise in?
Oh my gosh, sorry about that. I had to unmute myself. So I want you to ask me about nutrition questions to help you break through all the misinformation and confusion. There is a ton of information on the internet these days, and it can be really challenging to sift through yourself, especially if you're asking Dr. Google what to do. So I encourage you to reach out to me rather than just Googling something. I also love being asked about how different foods affect your body, especially with blood sugar management, weight loss, and inflammation reduction. I also have a really big passion on helping you make your meals more plant-based, but still easy and super yummy to help you improve cholesterol. This doesn't mean you have to go vegan or vegetarian, but just adding in more veggies.
Awesome. I love that. Super helpful. And then Katie, what should the ladies ask you about?
Sure. Ladies, you can come to me if you need some help with the program, making it applicable to your life and helping you, especially if you're new to the program. As you know, I do host the office hours, so we go over a lot of great questions there. You can also come to me if you need help making adjustments to the recipes or your meal planning so you can keep everything within your household budget. And you can come to me if you need help problem solving or getting past some obstacles that you're having. I love to use food and nutrition science as well as behavioral change to help you make those changes to get your blood sugars down, to help reduce inflammation and reduce chronic pain.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, Katie. I see the questions coming in thick and heavy, ladies. So we're going to just introduce the coaches first, share a little bit about them, and then we'll hop in and answer your questions. So Irene, what should they ask you about?
Yeah, so ladies, you can ask me about IBS or other certain digestive issues that you may be going through and how to make the program work for you. You can also ask me about foods that are going to help support your gut health while also helping you reach those health and weight loss goals. And lastly, you can ask me about how to make tweaks and adjustments to any recipe, especially if you're suffering from any kind of food sensitivities or allergies. I know how difficult that can be, but we can definitely help and find those perfect tweaks and adjustments to make the food taste like nothing has changed.
Amazing. I love that. And of course, ladies are watching, you can ask all the coaches about everything because we're all trained in all the topics. These are just areas if you have specific questions, who to go to. The ladies who's asking about the recipes, it's pinned to the top of your program. when you first join and you log in, it's about the third link down is the entire program recipes. So if you have problems with that, just email member@homemade-cooking.com and you'll get someone get back to you normally within 24 hours. Cool. And Chef Jen, what should we ask you about?
Well, you can, of course, ask me any and all food-related questions, especially your cooking challenges. So whatever you're coming up against in the kitchen, if you want tips to be quicker, sharpen the knife skills, pun intended, or come up with any substitutions that you already have on hand. I especially love sharing just ideas and inspiration when you don't know what to make with what you have on hand.
Perfect. Thank you so, so much, Jen. And Stephanie, what should we ask you about?
You can ask me about diabetes, heart disease, cholesterol. I worked for a long time in those areas. Maybe you're on medication and you have questions. You need to know how to navigate your food or your meds, or really just understanding if you've been told that maybe you have pre-diabetes, all of that stuff. You can ask me and I can surely help you with those questions.
Awesome. And absolutely, I'd be very happy to send out in the replay a little write-up of each of the coaches and their specialties. That's a great idea, ladies. So you don't have to remember everything. All right. And Merrill, what should we ask you about?
You can ask me about the mindset piece of the program and mindful and intuitive eating for weight loss and other health concerns. You can ask me how exactly you go about listening to your body and giving it proper nutrition and nourishment in any given situation. You can ask me about how to create healthy new habits for weight loss and inflammation reduction. I also cook for my family daily, almost daily. I should say almost, and ask me anything about cooking or meal planning as well.
Amazing. All right. Well, let's just answer a few of the questions. I'll read them out and anyone can just hop in and answer a question, and then we'll go back to finding out about why you like working here. So I'm going to jump to any suggestions for leaky gut recipes or cooking. Anybody want to jump in?
I'm happy to.
All right, take it away, Maddie.
Leaky gut. So leaky gut, for anyone who doesn't know what leaky gut is when you have proliferations along the gut intestinal walls, and that's not good because that means undigested food can leak out, and it's just as bad as it sounds. This actually can be the root cause of a lot of immune disorders, things like lupus or something like that. So we really want to try to avoid it. The number one thing you can do for leaky gut is start making your own homemade broth at home. I personally do this as a part of my weekly meal planning and batch cooking. I take scraps from whatever chicken I've roasted and odds and ends from onions, garlic, like just classic mirepoix, onions, garlic, celery, any other veggie scraps that I think, will taste good in there. A lot of mushroom ends, maybe some kale stems. And I simmer it all down. And the beautiful thing about this is that it's really rich in gelatin and it actually coats. So it heals and seals your gut when you drink it. And not only is it super soothing and feels like it's a warm hug to your belly, it literally heals your gut. So that is one thing, the number one thing that anyone who has leaky gut should do. And I would say enjoying a cup a day is an absolutely great idea. And the nice thing is you can make it out of food scraps, so it's not something that you have to go out of your way to say do I have all the ingredients for this? Once you get in the habit of creating that little Ziploc freezer stash of odds and ends, it'll just become habit, and it'll be one of those things that you do for yourself on the weekends or your days off.
Love it. Thank you so much, Maddie. And then another question's come in about reducing inflammation. Would anyone like to jump on this one? All right, Katie.
I can take this one. This question actually gets asked a lot in the live Q&As. And basically how we're dealing with helping reducing that inflammation. The main things that are triggering inflammation in most women's bodies are going to be things like the saturated fats, added sugars, excessive sodium, preservatives, additives. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. When we reduce a lot of the processed foods in what we're eating, we reduce the amount of inflammation we're seeing. And then at that point is when we kind of start listening to our body more and seeing what may cause certain inflammation, or what might make some inflammation markers in us personally. So this is when you're listening to your body. Maybe for me, tomatoes. I love tomatoes, but I just don't feel well after eating tomatoes. I've never had an allergy test done or a sensitivity test, but I know that that causes some reaction in me. You can get some testing done if you're interested to learn more about what might be causing inflammation in your body. But again, just reducing the amount of processed foods, and then listening to your body for those cues to let you know what makes you feel good and what doesn't.
Amazing. Love it. And of course, also adding a lot of those great anti-inflammatory ingredients. So the things like olive oil, you know, starting to use more olive oil in your cooking, those healthy, the omega-3 rich fish, so such as salmon or trout. And then the alternatives to that, that's also high in omega-3s, is things like walnuts and flax seeds and chia seeds. So they all help reduce inflammation as well. I saw one of the ladies comment that she thinks she's a bit heavy-handed with olive oil, which I love. It definitely adds calories. So the guide, they generally say, is about a tablespoon of oil in your cooking per meal is roughly the recommended amount. And that includes everything, including the oil used during the cooking process and in your dressings and things like that. I would frequently exceed that. And most of the studies and evidence I'm reading suggest it's so very good for you, olive oil. You know, no matter how they analyze it, it comes up as the winner from every perspective in terms of being heart healthy and good with anti-inflammatory, and it helps the body register satiety. So I would just say, if you think you're using too much, maybe you are, but maybe instead you focus attention on other areas where you could cut some of the less healthy foods that might be sneaking their way in, because olive oil is so beneficial for your health. So those are some ideas for reducing inflammation. Now, Faye, we did do a session on reading nutrition labels, and there's actually one in your program, and Maddie also did one. So if you specifically want access to those, just email member@homemade-cooking.com and you can get the link to those. Can anyone just shout out where it is in the program? Do you remember which week? I'll have to have a look into that. So just email us, Faye, if you want a copy of that. Now, yes, would anyone like to jump in and answer Jean's question about building up the immune system to avoid COVID? With the disclaimer that, you know, you can't necessarily avoid it. We can't promise that you can avoid it, but we can certainly share tips on what to eat to build up your immune system. And in fact, that was when it first came out, that was the #1 recommendation of the World Health Organization Director General, was to eat the right healthy foods to build up your immune system. So it's a great question. Anyone want to jump on this? I'll go with Irene. Cool.
So foods that are recommended are usually also anti-inflammatory foods. So things like turmeric, I know, are recommended. Ginger are great, but also plant-based foods. A lot of the foods that we recommend here in the program. So making broths, like what Maddie had mentioned earlier, you can do that with scraps, with some leftover bones. That's actually really great, full of nourishment. Just building up on a lot of leafy greens. Those, you can't ever go wrong with that. And also omega-3 fatty acids. So fish, just make sure to incorporate lots of fatty fish. So salmon is a great one. Try to get that in like once a week. And yeah, I think that covers a lot of them. it's a lot of the foods that we recommend here, whole grains, all that good stuff.
Yeah, pretty much if you're eating our recipes, you're probably getting the benefits. Another thing I just throw in there would be my go-to anytime I feel a cold coming on is homemade honey lemon tea. The honey is antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory. It's amazing. And then the lemon, of course, is very high in vitamin C. So just, I squeeze the juice of half a lemon, you know, a teaspoon of honey, and then I might add a herbal tea bag or a regular tea bag or not. But that's amazing. And then garlic. Garlic is one of the greatest immunity boosters as well. So I will often make myself homemade garlic toast when I'm feeling sick, and it's literally a piece of toast with butter, and I'll slice an entire clove on it. And if I'm feeling brave, I will just eat a clove on its own. But that can do wonders. You know, that can flip around about 40-50% of colds. Some people also swear by apple cider vinegar, you know, a little shot each morning, which is very alkalizing for the body and can help prevent colds and sickness. So there's some ideas. All right. It was Maria who asked about the olive oil being too heavy with it. A question for Jen, making sourdough bread from Angela, the question, she says, making sourdough bread, is it okay to use unbleached all-purpose flour?
It is absolutely fine to use unbleached flour. We actually prefer it. You're going to have a lot less processing there. And all-purpose will work fine for sourdough, but it's actually not going to be as good flavor-wise and not as great nourishment-wise. If you use more whole grain flours, like rye is a really great one, spelt flour is one of my favorites. A little easier to find is just good old whole wheat. All of those are going to result in a lot nuttier and just a lot more complex of flavor in your bread later. And they'll give you lots of good fiber for digestion and fullness and all that good health benefits.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And a question for Stephanie from Teresa says, Stephanie, I had gastric bypass and don't have appetite in the morning. All I want is coffee. What's your opinion? And it's her second day on the program. Welcome, Teresa.
I think with gastric bypass, you might find that you're not going to eat as much as maybe what your partner might be eating or a friend might be eating. And what I would just encourage is maybe an hour after you have the coffee, or maybe even wait before you give yourself the coffee. Try some of the smoothies, even if it's just a couple sips, see how you do and see how you feel. And then maybe to have the coffee a little bit later on, maybe an hour later on, to see how you do. Because of the bypass, you will have a very small volume. So you may need to just do very small amounts, but it's okay to do them more frequently.
Awesome advice. Thank you so much, Stephanie. And Teresa, the other thing I often say to members is when people tell me, our members tell me that they're not hungry in the mornings, I often say it's probably because you're eating too much at night. And I say that with love and a smile, because most of us do eat too much at night. And there's a reason it's called breakfast, break the fast, because in theory, we're supposed to wake up ravishing and hungry from not having eaten for so long. But if we're overdoing it at night, then that's often why we don't have the appetite in the morning. So that's one of and the worst thing about eating too much at night is our body lays down those extra calories as fat because we're not moving or doing anything. So one of the places to look to start making tiny tweaks and changes if you don't feel hungry in the mornings is to start looking at seeing if you can reduce eating at night and then seeing if you wake up more hungry. So that's another little trick to try, and report back to us. Let us know how you do. But you're on day 2. You got ages to figure this all out. So last question, I'm going to pick on you, Merrill. What about this? How many eggs per person can we eat in a week? And she's type 2 diabetic from Florence.
Eggs are actually a beautiful little package of nutrition. Of course, as with anything, balance and moderation and mixing them with other ingredients and different things is the key. I would say maybe not having eggs every single day, maybe having a couple eggs, 3 to 4 days a week, and then mixing them maybe with some healthy whole grains so you get getting that fiber, and some veggies. Like I like to build a beautiful breakfast sandwich, add your tomato, maybe some avocado, some lettuce, some cucumber, mixing with those eggs so you're getting that nice balance of ingredients. But that would be
brilliant. That's wonderful. Yeah, the evidence and research is changing every day on whether eggs are good or bad for high blood cholesterol. 1 minute they say don't eat it, it's bad. The next minute they say actually the research shows it's good for blood cholesterol levels. So we generally, when the research is inconclusive, we try and take a middle line and say, look, do it in moderation and you won't go too far wrong. So I definitely agree, have the eggs 3-4 days a week, 1 or 2 eggs per morning, and you should be fine, and you'll get all the massive health benefits of eggs being a complete protein without the risk of having too much and raising your high blood cholesterol. And I always urge you ladies to think of your meals in terms of, if you're having the same breakfast every single day or the same lunch, whether it's eggs or oatmeal or a smoothie, a specific smoothie, the question is, what nutrition are you missing out on by having the same thing every single day? Because so many whole ingredients, they can have tens of thousands of phytonutrients and micronutrients and minerals and antioxidants. And by choosing just 1 or 2 ingredients for one of your 3 meals a day, you're reducing your exposure to the vast amounts of healing ingredients out there. So you want to get exposed to as much as possible by bringing in some variation to what you eat. Now, I'm going to go on with my next question to the coaches about why, and let's do it on the quickish side, ladies. So just a couple of points. Why do you love working for Homemade, and why do you love serving our members? I'll start with you, Maddie.
Yeah, thanks. So I absolutely love nutrition and food, and it's ideal when I get to help people with both of these together. I'm a total nutrition nerd, which is one of the reasons I love presenting Nutrition Lives every month, all this nutrition-based research. I love food. I was raised by chefs, so like cooking has always been just a beautiful cultural centerpiece for my family. And I also battled some health issues of my own. So just being able to help people heal their bodies through food is really, really important to me. The health issues that I dealt with were IBS growing up until I was like probably 25. So like many, many, many years of my childhood, just dealing with terrible IBS and the exhaustion that comes from it. And also like the nervousness of not sure if you're gonna have to go to the bathroom, like a lot of my teenage years is so terrible. And then I dealt with chronic candida in my early 20s, and that was really uncomfortable for anyone that has dealt with chronic candida. We're all ladies here. It basically means you get yeast infections chronically and that you have terrible indigestion. So that combination is not fun. But through the help of a nutritionist and a functional nutritionist and just learning how to listen to my body, I was able to heal it. And so I'm just so grateful that I can also provide this for other ladies as well here in the program.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maddie. And Katie, how about you?
Yes, I love working with so many great women in the program and on our team and in the community. And I've always felt like an old soul. And I really, truly believe that getting back to the basics of nutrition and kind of weeding past the fodder of all the misinformation and the overwhelm can really help you gain health physically and mentally, which is very important for women of any age. So I like to help create the strong female for the generations to come. I feel like Homemade's helping me be a platform for that, to helping make some change in the world.
Yay, I love it. That's beautiful. Thank you. And how about you, Irene? Why do you love working for Homemade and working with our members?
Well, I love working here because I know that we focus on helping women live healthier and happier lives. And I can relate to so many of your stories out there, from trying different diets all your lives to dealing with IBS and heartburn and anxiety as well. And through these experiences, I know I personally have seen firsthand how nutrition and lifestyle changes can really make all the difference in the world. And I have always wanted a job where it made me feel like I was actually making a difference and really helping others, which is exactly what I found here at Homemade. And whenever I see any of the members getting results or feeling better, it really just makes all the difference in the world for me. It makes me so grateful to be here and to be a part of your journeys. And it just really solidifies the reason that I chose this career path.
Oh, I love that. Thanks, Irene. It's amazing. And how about you, Jen?
Well, working for Homemade is my dream job, just for the simple reason it gives me true purpose. I spent, as I mentioned, a lot of years teaching classes that were all about the taste buds, all about, getting pleasure and basically just having a party. But through this job, I'm able to use all my skills and all my passion to now contribute in a meaningful way. So I just feel so much more fulfilled. Probably the best part of my job is just getting to connect with each of you members. Anytime I'm included in one of your successes or your discoveries, it means the world.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thanks, Jen. And to our new ladies, welcome, and let us know why you wanted to join our team. Stephanie.
Well, I am very excited to be here at Homemade Method. It is combining two things that I love and that have been a big part of my life for decades, and that is nutrition and cooking, and I love both. One of the things I found being an outpatient dietitian in a hospital setting is I would speak with people and counsel them and maybe even see them over time. But cooking was one of those things that it either didn't happen, they weren't sure how to do it, they were very busy, and that's very hard to really encourage the healthy habits that you want people to have when they're not able to get cooking and they don't have the resources or a way to learn. So this is a wonderful combination to me. And it also, when you teach someone how to cook, you're teaching them a lifelong skill, and that is wonderful. And you can pass that skill down to other family members. And to me, it's a beautiful thing. I love to cook, and putting them both together is the perfect equation to me. I also love the group, just being with all the different women. I feel like this is just a big girl party, and I love it, and it's fun, and it's just been wonderful. I'm really looking forward to it.
So awesome. Thank you so much. We love having you here, and we feel the same. And how about you, Merrill?
Yes, I took a break to have my kiddos for the last 3-4 years. And so I knew I didn't want to go back to work just for any reason. I wanted to have a purpose. And when I heard about Homemade, I just jumped at the chance to be a part of a community that just aligns so much with my skills and expertise and philosophy on food and eating, and especially the mindset piece. And I just couldn't be more excited to help just empower women to heal their bodies and just feel their best and get rid of the dieting mindset forever and have food freedom. And so that can free up all that time to just enjoy all the other amazing things and people in your lives. And I just get tears in my eyes every time I read member success stories. And so just being able to be a part of changing someone's life is just a dream job for me.
Oh, that's awesome. So ladies watching, I hope you feel you're in amazing hands, because I certainly do. And I want to add to my tea recommendation for colds and flus. I knew there was another ingredient missing. Mary mentioned she often adds ginger as well. And that's what I also do. I do the honey, lemon, and ginger tea. And I actually buy the ginger root from the grocery store and then just slice it thinly and macerate it a bit so all the goodness gets out. And ginger is also very good for nausea. It's very good for boosting immunity. So that's what else I include. And if I actually listen to my body and slow down and hop in bed and focus on just resting and knock back a few of those teas all day long and maybe a few garlic cloves or some garlic toast, it does turn things around in 24 hours most of the time. So you've got to do the rest. You can't keep going and expect that result as well. So last, but definitely not least, I wanted to share something a little bit outside the box that you never really get to hear about, which is what our team does when they're not here and they're not coaching. What's their hobbies or interests outside of work? So I will begin with Maddie. So what hobbies do you have?
Yeah, thanks. So I love to dance. I used to take dance classes like 5 or 6 days a week, and all different kinds of dance classes. So music is a big part of my life, and moving my body is a big part of my life. Right now, those dance classes look like dancing in my kitchen with my 2-year-old named Azalea. And we're just a really active family. We love to be outside, and the ocean is definitely like our happy place. So we try to make it out to the beach at least, 2 to 3 times a month, because we live about 30 minutes from there. And my daughter takes after my heart. She will get in the ocean no matter what. So lots of cold ocean dips recently. And we actually just built our first garden, just starting to get all the little veggies and fruits in the ground. And we're really excited to see what's going to pop up over the next few months, because it's going to be what's for dinner. And this is the first time we've ever been able to do that. So really excited about that.
Thank you so much. And it sounds like your husband's having a great time with your 2-year-old in the background. Awesome. All right. So next we have Katie. What are some of your hobbies or interests?
Yeah. I like going on walks outside, hanging out with my family. Personal finance is one of my hobbies. I like watching romantic comedies or a good fixer-upper type show and drinking a nice glass of red wine. My husband is also in the music business here in Nashville and on the road a lot. So I spend a lot of time keeping our household in order and also helping him manage his business.
Amazing. Thank you. And Irene?
Yes, so I love to travel with my husband. It's one of our hobbies, so it's definitely been very tough this past year, but we've tried to make the most out of the situation. I also love to watch movies, and my favorites are romance comedies and also documentaries. And recently I have started watching all the Marvel movies from start to finish, so that is something that I'm making my husband do with me right now. You would think it's the opposite, but it's actually me watching those. And then I also love spending time with my family, which consists of my parents, my sister, my brother, and my nephews and nieces. So we try to get together as much as we can. And I also enjoy hot yoga. I love a good beach and also hanging out with my girlfriends, preferably all three at the same time, but even if it's separately, I enjoy it.
Love it. That's so great. Okay, and Jen?
When I'm not in the kitchen cooking or eating most of the time, I usually find me outside, especially in nature. I love sunshine and water. And I'm also really passionate about practicing yoga, breath work, and meditation. That whole mindset aspect, as you can see for each of us, is just such a beautiful way to connect between mind and body and really heal. So I'm just fascinated by that. On my days off, if I'm not working, I'm usually hiking or just took up kayaking, my husband and I. And I mentioned we moved to the Sierra foothills. So a lot of the time we're either out on those trails or discovering our new little town. It only has 2 main roads, so there's not a lot to discover, but it's amazing here.
Wow, that sounds so beautiful. Great, thank you. And how about you, Stephanie?
Well, I did want to let the ladies know that I am in their age group. So it's just very fun to be surrounded by all these great women. I love to spend time with my family. I have a hubby and 5 children and 3 significant others. So a big family. We vacation together, we visit. We love to cook meals together and eat and play games afterwards. So I truly feel blessed to be able to do that. Always love doing it. I love to volunteer. I've been volunteering for decades, and it's just something that really fills my soul. I love my girlfriends. I have been a girlfriend girl for my entire life. So getting together with them and laughing and just talking about life is something that energizes me. Because I am of this older age, my body has not quite been able to do the things I used to love to do. So I've recently started biking, and I am biking on an e-bike, and that has been amazing. I have loved it, and I can actually bike a couple miles and not get off the bike feeling like I was hit by a Mack truck. So it's been wonderful. I absolutely love it.
That's beautiful and awesome. I love that introduction. I know the members are going to be so blessed and happy to have you with us, Stephanie. Cool. And Merrill, what are your hobbies and interests?
Well, currently when I'm not working, I'm pretty much always chasing after my 2 little boys. They are 1 and 3 and just wild as can be. Love them dearly, but they're a lot, especially this COVID year. But if not, I'm definitely in the kitchen cooking for my friends or family, or teaching my boys to cook. I am determined to raise 2 boys and send them out in the world that can cook for their families. Or doing a Peloton workout. That's also been a saving grace for me this year, to just stay active and healthy. I'm also a very social person. My girlfriends are my lifeline. And so which I'm really excited about this community and this of supportive women that can support each other. And one of my favorite things in the whole wide world is just breaking bread with friends. Like a dinner on the back deck in the sunshine with music and friends is like my ultimate happy place. And I also love to snowboard, and I live in the Pacific Northwest, so we have mountains and lakes and rivers and oceans and all of the beautiful nature. So we try to get out and about and do that as much as we can. And I also just wanted to give a little shout out to my mom. She should be on here listening to me, and I love you, and I'm so proud. She's been doing so great at this and on this program, and I'm happy to have her here. And
That's amazing. What's your mom's name? We can give her a shout out.
oh, Carol Richmond. Yeah, she's
Carol.
almost done with her program, but she's done amazing and had great success. And I'm so proud of her.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Merrill. So happy to have you with us. Well, I'm going to wrap up by sharing my interests. So I have a lot in common with the other ladies. I also love the outdoors. We love getting out of town and, you know, heading to little streams and hikes and such. And I also am an avid yogi. So I do yoga pretty much every morning, just on my living room floor, free YouTube videos. Lately, I've been stepping it up a notch with a few HIIT workouts, boot camp style workouts as well, and meditating as well. And then I love cooking with friends, you know, hosting events that almost always involve costumes. I love costume parties, and I love inviting people over, and we choose a cooking theme like Italian or tapas or sushi, and then I get everyone to bring an ingredient, and then it all works. Somehow we end up with just the right ingredients to create a dinner party. I've hosted dinner parties from 10 people to 80 people like this. At our wedding, I think we had about 200 people, and literally the menu we did kind of like a 3-4 day stay in a surf town near Australia, and we rented out the entire hostel with our friends. And the first night's dinner was this style where everyone had to wear a color, you know, yellow, green, blue, or purple or red. And then each team had to cook the food for the rest of the group. So one team was on appetizers, one team was on, you know, mains, one team was on salad. And we didn't give them a recipe. We just gave them a bunch of ingredients and said they had to figure out what to make. And when I was planning this, all of my girlfriends who were we call it hens in Australia. I think you call it your bachelorette friends or something? They were all looking at me going, Anna, this is never going to work. Like, they were all trying to warn me against it, but it worked. And so it's one of my greatest joys in life, is just bringing people together to cook and sharing great food. And I also love going out dancing. So that's something I just love doing as well. And surfing as well has been a big part of my life for over a decade. So that's a little bit about us. Thank you, ladies, so much for all your kind words. I'm so glad you feel inspired and motivated and supported by these coaches. They're all amazing. They've been selected from, you know, hundreds of applicants. We have a 3-stage application process. And so you are in great hands. Everyone's got credentials, expertise, experience, and passion to bring to the mix. So I'm very proud and grateful to have these amazing women on our team. And Samantha is from Australia. So for the lady who asked about Canada, we have yet to bring on a Canadian coach, but we have, you know, open the floor to applicants from Canada. So maybe soon we'll see a Canadian coach joining us. And other than that, the last thing I want to say is there's been a ton of questions coming in that we didn't get time to answer. I want to respect your time and wrap it up. So don't forget, you have many forums to get your questions answered. You can go to the top of the members only Facebook group and click on Got Questions, click here, and post your questions anytime in the thread there, which the expert coaches go in every single day. We have coaches on 7 days a week answering questions. You can post your questions in the members group where other members can help you out. You can email them in anytime to member@homemade-cooking.com, or finally, you can go to one of Katie's bi-weekly events. That's fortnightly if you're in Australia, every 2 weeks, where she will be on live with you for an hour just answering your questions. So if you didn't get answered, we will answer you. Just submit them in any of those formats and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So thank you, ladies, so much for being here. I hope this was helpful, and thanks for your lovely, kind words. Thanks again to all the coaches, you know, giving up your evening to be here. And we will see you very soon in the members only group. Bye now. Have a great day. Actually, Merrill, you will be ending the session since you're the actual final host. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.